Okay, so I can't start the podcast until the fat lady sings. So I know she normally like ends things, but she's branching out. And now the fat lady is starting things, but she's not good at it because I don't see her. Why is she on the payroll if she's not going to show up on time? Obviously the fat lady refers to opera because supposedly at the end of every opera, a fat lady comes out and she sings a final song. But I've been to operas. I've never saw a fat lady come out. Opera singer, I mean, they're kind of hot. I don't know why. They just tend to be. They don't look like a lady in a Viking helmet that you always see in like fake operas. Opera is one of those rare skill sets where like it pays to either be like a guy who's shaped like a perfect sphere, like a mathematically precisely perfect circular object with like preferably like a beard or something. You see him come out, you're like, we're gonna hear some opera tonight. And then you just see like a woman who looks like a model and you're like, oh yeah, she's gonna be good too. It's like, well, what are we judging it based on then? When I got my first CD player, I was like an idiot. I'm like, oh, I forgot to buy CDs for my CD player. I'll just listen to whatever's laying around the house then. At first, I was just alternating between La Boheme by Puccini, which was my mom's CD, and Enema of the State by Blink-182, which was my sister's. But I think otherwise, I don't think I would have any ear for opera. I mean, if you're not in the mood for it, you're like, shut the hell up. Like, why are you using your voice like that? It's like you're supposed to be actors, but honestly, this problem with opera is the suspension of disbelief is broken as soon as a guy comes out and is like, oh, like, okay, well, no one does that, so this isn't real. Honestly, like, it's as intense as metal or something like death. Like, I feel like when I go to the opera, I'm like, this is the exact same thing as Death Grips. Everything in the world is exactly the same. This is why I don't understand what genre I'm supposed to like. I don't know. They're all just music. It's like you can't listen to music wrong, just listen to all of it. Needless to say, from there, I guess my musical taste was, what is this show? What is this show? What is this podcast? It's me, Anthony Fantano. I have exactly the same opinions as him, but with more hair. Yeah, from there, then I got into music completely the wrong way as a kid. I was just listening to stuff that like wasn't music. It was so experimental. It was like if you didn't have the context of what the composition was, you'd be like, did someone just record themselves trying to get a pan out of a high cabinet and it's 25 minutes long? And I'd be like, no, this is just early Steve Reich. And then that just went on for a while, and then I was like slowly started introducing the concept of notes and pitches and like chords. And I was like, this is interesting. I could get into this. And now I listen to normal music, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I'm listening to all the good stuff that you guys like. It's really weird the way that people talk about whether stuff is good or not. Like, I've never really had to think about if I have a favorite movie. I don't fucking know. I'll just say The Truman Show. I do like The Truman Show. See, and now you're having all kinds of opinions about me, who I am as a person, because I like The Truman Show. See, that's what's stupid about this. Who cares? Like, just the fact that so many people like so many things that you think are shitty, that should tell you, well, oh, I guess taste is actually subjective. I mean, you should know that from the fact that, like, dogs eat their own poop. It's like, well, clearly we don't have the same palate, if you will. So? Still no fat lady in the room. Quite the opposite, just a thin male here. Me. Even our intern has stepped out. I told him to go throw rocks at the home of Chuck Charles, our eye in the sky traffic chopper guy. And I just tell him, just keep throwing rocks and don't stop. Even if Chuck Charles has a gun. I don't know if he has guns or not, but It's hard for me to imagine him aiming a weapon. We've been in the urinals together, and he wasn't exactly an American sniper about it, if you know what I mean. He's dedicated his life to trying to succeed at something and repeatedly failing, which of course you can probably guess is giving even an iota of useful information about the traffic. He has yet to accomplish this. I was recently in Europe. What's funny is when you come back, you find yourself missing certain things, and you're like, why do I miss that? And when I got back to the States and I got to the bathroom at the airport, I was like, oh, right, it's just urinals. It's not a urinal trough, which I became accustomed to. It's just as disgusting as 10 urinals next to each other. The disgustingness is just not distributed amongst separate receptacles. When you go in the bathroom, are you just blind to all of the other grossness? You're like, oh, there's a guy at the urinal next to me. I assume he's just peeing water into that, and it's not gross. I'm the only one who's disgusting, and I should feel shame. I am God's beast of earth, and I deserve to die in the bathroom. Right? We all have this thought process. No, we don't. We think, oh, that guy's pissing also. We're all pissing together. Why not showcase our work in a way that builds camaraderie, community, and most importantly, melts those ice cubes they put in there so fucking fast, man. When it's the trough, it's so easy to get it done when we work together. Because it's like you have a side quest. Men need stuff like this in our lives. If you're gonna emotionally reach out to men, you have to do it as if we were a gerbil in a cage. Like, we're just kind of running around in there. We're not really sure, like, what we need, but we know we need, like, some kind of enrichment. And it's probably something relatively easy to provide as our gerbil master, whoever you are. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, and I feel like I'm gonna stop now. Because I feel like it was gonna get bad. Instead, I'm gonna check the weather for you. The weather where I am, not where you are, and not when you're listening. But it's 60 degrees and cloudy where I am. And frankly, that's kind of bullshit. It shouldn't be 60 degrees right now. They should invent a part of the world where it's always summer, and they should call it Winter Island, so that nobody finds out it's always summer there. Then that way you can have it all to yourself. It's like when they called Greenland, Greenland, and Iceland, Iceland. They're like, we can't let them know where the ice is. They have to be confused, or all the men will try to melt it with their pee. It's typical. I mean, it wasn't hard to confuse people at one point. I mean, Christopher Columbus thought he was in India when he came here. That's why we call Native Americans Indians. That's why I call them Native Americans. The thing is, it doesn't even seem like it's considered an unwoke thing to call them Indians. Like, people just call them Indians all the time. I'm like, I don't think this has anything to do with woke reasons. I just kind of don't want to jump on the bandwagon based on a mistake that one guy made. It does seem hard to entertain the concept of there being Native Americans. Because it seems like you should just call them Americans, and then we're whoever the hell we are. In the grand scheme of their history, the generations that separate us from Europe are like the blink of an eye, like it's nothing. Like, we just got here. We might as well still be speaking Italian. It'd be like if somebody, like, kicked you out of your house and, like, took your family's name, and then they said, you're actually the native Johnsons. You have nowhere to go, but we're the Johnsons now. That's if you're buying a house. I don't know if you were going to be doing that. I don't know if you plan on getting around to that. How do you do it? How does that work? So I guess I'll just keep living in a different kind of building. I mean, that's the only difference. It's really not a big deal. So if you own a house, leave. Get out. You can stay with me. I have one bed, but we'll make it work. Give up your houses. Let the Native Americans live in your houses. But I also understand wanting a house. Like, I mean, it makes sense why you would want that. I mean, of course, there are downsides to apartments or renting a home. There's downsides to everything. So if there was only upsides to any given thing, everybody would already be doing it. So we haven't figured it out. Well, we haven't figured out the optimal way to live. We haven't figured out the optimal type of music to be into. So I guess while you're waiting for somebody to figure out the perfect way to live your life, you might as well just do whatever you want in the meantime. And then later, when we all agree, oh, we should all be, trad wives, or, that's just one example. We should all have Labubu's, or not. I don't know. I don't know what the final vote's gonna tell us. I know somebody who can answer that question. His name is Slurp Von Lipstick. He's the host of Time Check. Please give it up. Yeah, so what? Who cares? Whatever. Let's do this. Time Check. I'm Slurp Von Lipstick. Who cares about where you live? I live here. I live in this room because I have nowhere else to stay. The famous Slurp Von Lipstick couch surfing. Who am I, Mike Pence? That fucking bum? Right? Remember? In 2021, he was like, oh, I was so busy having fun with my friend Donald Trump that I forgot to have a house to live in. How does that happen? At the very least, I bet if you asked nicely, they would let you at least sleep in the White House press room at night. Like he oversleeps and then the press shows up for a press conference with Biden. You just see Mike Pence like stirring in the background. He has a sleeping robe and cap on, and he's rubbing his eyes in a cartoonish way and yawning. All this while Biden is like, I'm president. You're the president too. We're all president now. Meanwhile, Mike Pence is making a mean French toast on a grill. It smells incredible. Everyone, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, they're all in agreement. They're like, I'll have what he's having. What a world it could have been, but it didn't work out like that. And I could say the same thing about my own life. I've been kind of bouncing around, staying in places here and there. My 7 young identical sons are staying with my beautiful ex-wife, Blarissa. I only ever refer to her as my beautiful ex-wife. This was part of the document we signed when we got divorced. But, enough about me. Oh, hold on. The timeline is lighting up. Someone who wants to talk time with me? Sure, that sounds good to me. Hello, who is this? You're on with the timeline.
Hey man, it's me, Chuck.
How's it going? This is Chuck Charles, of course, the eye in the sky, or a traffic chopper, calling now during Time Check. Do you have any information for us, or do you just want to have a completely pointless conversation like we do every single time we interact?
I had some time to kill up here in the chopper, and I decided to, it's hard to phrase this in a way that is gonna come off well right now, but I'm trailing your ex-wife.
Why are you doing that?
Just like something to do, I guess. I know, now that I'm saying it, it sounds like I'm not a good guy.
So where is she?
I mean, I've been following her for 4 hours, and she's just been doing donuts in the parking lot of the Target. It sounds like she's yelling. I think she's saying, like, the deals are bad.
Yeah, she always hated Target. It was the only store she ever went to, but she hated it with all of her heart.
She should see somebody about this.
Yeah, that's really part of the reason that we had to go our separate ways, unfortunately.
Okay, she's leaving now. I'm gonna continue following her. I'll give you updates.
Do not give me updates. I don't care at all. I've moved on. I'm at a completely different point in my life. All I care about is what time it is. You know what time it is, Chuck Charles?
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone does all the time. It's extremely easy to find out. What
the time is 12:50 a.m.
You can find out
12:50 a.m. Put that in the annals of Time Check. I hope that's how you say that.
I think our rotor lost power. We're going down. We are going down. We are going down. Mayday, mayday. We are going down into the Target. We're literally going into the Target. The actual sign. We are going to crash dead center into it. I wish I wasn't too afraid for my life to appreciate the irony of what's about to happen.
You're a terrible actor. We all know you've crashed multiple times and been fine.
Look, I gotta go.
I'm sure it's fine. He'll emerge unscathed. But if he crashed right into the target sign and it's dead center, then I think for a guy who's missed the mark many times, that's one way to really stick the landing on life. But again, let's hope that's not what happened. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to say I've been Slurp on Lipstick. This has been Time Check. See ya. Alright, give it up. That was Time Check, hosted by none other than Slurp Von Lipstick, who I basically completely zone out while he's doing that. I'm not paying any attention, so all he talks about is time. He sucks. I'm cool though. I talk about a lot of different stuff. You can't deny that I talk about a lot of different stuff. We're all just out here talking about different stuff. Us white men. It's all we have left to do. There's all the other problems got solved, so now we talk to ourselves. Help us. Our lives are too good. Fix it. Give me adversity. I'm gonna retract that from the minutes. I actually, upon further reflection, have realized maybe I'm not prepared to make that commitment. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, so that rules me out. I'm not getting drafted into that war. I have bone spurs. I can't fight in the war between God and hell. At most, I could, punch a demon one time. I'd maybe knock, 1 HP off him. Okay, our stenographer is hopefully complying. I'm the boss of the podcast. You do everything I tell you to. Wait, maybe I am a dictator. Yeah. Wow, I guess I'm still learning and growing as a person. Who cares? Who gives a shit about my personal growth? All anybody cares about on this podcast is the jokes and the laughs and the funny voices and the phone calls and the swearing. Well, there's not going to be any more of that. Today, I'll be reading from the works of German theologian and mystic Meister Eckhart. See as he is thus one and simple, so he can enter that one that I here call the citadel of the soul, but in no other mode can he get it. Sorry, hold on. Somebody calling the Purgatory Pod. Hello? It's so late. What do you want?
Hey.
Oh, it's Chuck Charles. Hey.
Wanted to let you know I survived the crash. Just doing, my usual post-crash check-in.
Okay.
Do you care, or...
Yeah, it's good. But how's the helicopter?
It landed in such a specific and improbable way, such that it's stuck inside of the target, and it's occupying the toilet paper area. So you can't buy toilet paper at this Target anymore. They're gonna just leave it.
They're gonna leave what?
The helicopter.
Oh, so they're gonna pick it up later?
No, it's part of Target now.
Well, no, it's my helicopter.
No, it's a national monument now to what happened here.
This just happened in the last, 10 minutes? I guess I'll just have to save up for another helicopter. It took so long for me to save up enough for that. I had to sell lemonade on the sidewalk for, years.
Alright, Chuck Charles, out.
He's never signed off like that before. I'm really worried about him. He sounds like he's in deep pain. But I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'm a white man. Nothing bad's ever happened to me. I don't know. Chuck Charles, I don't know what he is. Never seen him. I just hear him on the phone. I'm not sure what race he sounds like. I mean, I kind of do know, but I don't want to admit it because then I'd have to admit that maybe I shouldn't be doing... You know what I mean? I don't have time to talk about that. It's almost the end of the podcast. I don't have time to get into race. But I do have enough time to get into gender. Why do they call it gender? Maybe they should call it agend him. That's all I got. Our next segment, a new thing that happens is that sometimes if I tilt my head back, my spine makes a noise like low-grade, weak pop rocks. It sounds like that's what's happening in my spine. But it doesn't feel bad. I have yet to have back problems. Man, I gotta come up with more problems to have. I need to be in like a hot air balloon accident or something. Things need to get unfortunate around here. I'm ready for events that, if arranged in a series, could be considered unfortunate. Perhaps I'll have some kind of Count Olaf situation. If anything, I'm more likely to be Count Olaf because I'm already an uncle. I'm in the uncle position. Which also happens to be one of the highest paying positions on average in the NFL. If you're playing uncle, you know, the guy who goes up to the players on the other team and he tries to distract them with photos of his niece and nephew. I thought this was a sports crowd, no? Yeah, I played uncle in high school. Got a scholarship. You don't know how hard it was for me to be an uncle at that age? Some would say it's impossible. It's sick. It's disgusting to be an uncle. But anyway, like I was saying about getting old, there's certain like old people thresholds. There are two that I have in mind right now. One that I've surpassed and one that I think is far off. So the one that I've surpassed and I'm now doing, about 75% of the time I'm just going to sit down to pee. It's just less drama. So that's one of the Rubicons which I've now passed. The other one that I've learned about, I'm talking to a lot of old people as a part of what I do. And a lot of the conversations start with, I'm 68 years old and I'm retired. And I'm like, I'm 34 and I'm dying. We all are. What are you telling me? What are you telling me with this? Are you under some impression that confers some ordained status upon you? Where like the next thing you're gonna say is like some ultimate piece of wisdom that like a Jedi would say? You don't say that. You just say, my grandson is disrespectful to me, and I think it's because of woke. Some guy really did call me and say, here's a story for you. And he says, yeah, my grandson, I asked him to take the trash out like once a week and he just doesn't do it. Are you investigating like why people are like this now? And I'm like, we don't really like want to engender like any animus. Like this just seems like a personal issue with you. And then he was like, it has nothing to do with gender. And I'm like, wait, what? You don't know what in okay. Yeah, okay, I'll jot that down. I'll put that in the old notepad. I don't know, it's weird. I don't get how you get like that, but I guess I'll get how you get like that someday. Well, anyway, I think that's everything I had on the agenda. We're looking for a treasurer. We need someone to find something for us to treasure. You know, whether it's ancient rubies or gold or, you know, family, you know, more abstract stuff like that. We're looking for that on the Purgatory podcast. Because right now it kind of sucks. Like the podcast is not really that good. But we're working on it. We're looking into it. We have scientists in labs. They're pouring like purple stuff into beakers. But that's why I'm just gonna keep trying until I really hit the mark. And maybe it'll happen next week. I guess you'll have to listen then. Later, Gator.